It is Friday. It is time for one of my favorite points of the week, which is bi-weekly, I should say, the bi-weekly Autowash live stream. I am Dylan Von Kleist. I am the VP of Sales and Marketing here at Autowash. And beside me is my good friend, Mr. Levi Gates.
Hello. So I'm the executive, or I'm the director of automotive appearance.
You're an executive in all the ways that you need to be.
I try to be, yeah.
So we come to you every other week, and if we build up enough audience, we'll make this a weekly occurrence. But every other week right now, I come to you, talk to you a little bit about car washing, detailing, all things appearance care. So you can drop those questions in the comments field there, and we'll get to those later. Talk a little bit of just general automotive stuff, life in general, fun things that are going on, what's happening at the shop, what's happening at the car washes, what's happening in general. And this is our first one back from the 4th of July holiday.
It was a big one.
How was your 4th of July?
Interesting, because I experienced a Colorado 4th of July instead of an Idaho 4th of July.
Very close to that Wyoming border.
Yeah, very close. I didn't realize how many people love shooting off aerials.
Oh, man. So from my house, I'm from the office to my house, 40 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
From my house to the Wyoming border, another hour. So from this office, in 2 hours, we could be in Wyoming. As you cross, it's on the hill. As you crest the hill heading into Wyoming, just on the other side of the border where it's legal, is the largest fireworks. I think it's Pyro City.
Yeah.
And it's all the illegal fireworks, literally inches on the other side of the border. And so everybody makes their annual pilgrimage all the way north up to Wyoming. They spend thousands of dollars on illegal fireworks that they then transport back home and light off until the wee hours of the morning. They're still going in my neighborhood.
They
like
are.
a couple times a night, there's still fireworks.
Yeah, they still are going off in mine, and I'm 30 minutes south of here.
Yeah.
So I'm not that near to the Wyoming border, but it is amazing. I could not believe how many there were.
The Coloradans are very committed to their aerial fireworks. Luckily, no serious fires, but so on this topic though, because illegal fireworks, very dangerous. And as I was sitting, we didn't buy any this year.
Yeah.
Tegan was off with my daughter, was off with a friend at a friend's house. And so we took the tops off the Hummer. We just drove around and watched all the illegal fireworks go off.
Yeah.
It was a free fireworks show, right? We did decide to stop by this friend's house because we know the parents as well, and they're lighting off their illegal fireworks, and then they would scramble back into the garage because then there was police drones actually flying, trying to spot where they were coming from. That's the level we're at now. And I was like, oh, cool, we're sitting here watching them. And that's when the shrapnel started. And I went, oh, this is a terrible idea. We're sitting with the exposed interior of my vehicle as shrapnel is falling from the sky. So I did look this up, and I did want to... So first of all, I would like to point out that there were... most damage is done to paint and exterior of cars. Unlucky people end up taking a firework through an open window. So in 2023, there was a study done on this. 849 vehicle fires nationally attributed directly to lighting off fireworks for the 4th of July.
Oh, I could totally see that.
So almost 1,000 people had their cars burned to a crisp. And not just interior. This is like it went underneath and blew up or whatever, but 849 people. So dangerous, I will say. But we did send out a push note to the customers, and then I got some feedback on this, and I will let you talk to this. Firework fallout is a thing.
It is an actual thing.
It is a thing. If you can smell sulfur in the air, the delicious smell of fireworks on 4th of July, hot dogs, fireworks, sulfur, it has a negative impact on paint. So you want to talk a little bit about that? Well,
especially if you've got, I had an amazing 360-degree light show around my neighborhood. The whole neighborhood was lighting off fireworks. So same thing. Like, we didn't have to go anywhere. We just sat in our backyard. Beautiful view, lots of fireworks. But yeah, if you're smelling sulfur, it means it's raining down because you can smell it.
This is bad for your paint?
Yeah. And as it sits on the surface, it's just one of those mini minerals that is not designed to be sitting on top of an automotive finish, period. Mm-hmm. It's not designed to be sitting on top of your flowers, your plants, there's a lot of things it's not
probably not good for your lungs.
Yeah. So again, just like in high seasons of forest fires and things like that, where you get ash, you still get that same ash, but it's also mixed in with all those volatile chemicals that were created to create that firework that just created an explosion that are now falling from the sky. So if you had one of those neighborhoods that was just boom, 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 or your neighbors were the ones shooting them off right there and your car was parked there, probably good to go get that thing washed to get all that stuff off.
Yep. No, we sent that message out and said, hey, beware of fireworks fallout. We sent it out, the day after.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, get to a wash. And we actually had a comment come back, and the guy was like, I didn't realize that. Like, is it actually dangerous? And I had to explain. I was like, yeah. If it's, we were driving through some streets, and it's just a cloud of smoke. It was a war zone. Like, just stuff, explosions everywhere, fire in the streets and stuff. And the shrapnel is one thing, but yeah, that fine particulate, because you're burning, I mean, you can smell the sulfur, but they're burning different minerals and chemicals to produce those colors. Different minerals burn at different temperatures. There's gunpowder and all this stuff. Well, it goes up, but it's coming down as fine particulate.
It's a cloud.
Yeah, it's a cloud of stuff. So I was explaining to him, and the guy goes, I have never, ever thought of that. And of course, loyal, regular. And so he went, and I washed the day before. I'm going to wash now. I was like, it's probably a good idea. Cheap insurance.
Yep.
Is a light layer of it going to immediately cause your car to crumble into a pile of rusty bolts? No, but it's not good. And then the risk is...
But if you're going to wait a month, don't wait a month.
Don't do that. The risk is it's very similar to the fire season risk, right? You get that stuff that settles on the car. The ash itself is not necessarily the issue. It is the exposure to heat over time that then bakes it to the surface. And then what really kicks that whole thing off is then the introduction of water. So you get a light rain, whatever. That starts that, and then it dries again. And now you've got a corrosive sludge effectively on the surface. So getting that off, getting it wet, and getting it away from the paint so it doesn't re-dry, that kind of stuff. So top tip. 4th of July.
Wash your car
wash your car immediately after 4th of July, or when your neighbors finally run out of mortars.
Yeah.
So either way.
Well, I always loved it in high fire seasons in Boise. There were times where like you could see it on the driveway. You could see the ash on the driveway.
Yep.
Or in our, just lighting off fireworks. So in Boise, they made it so that you couldn't light anything off where I lived because I was next to the mountain. And so police and fire would drive up and down the streets at every block looking for people lighting off aerial fireworks. And they would even get you on the flowers that spin on the ground because they leave the ground for half a second or two. And so they were like, don't use these. And then they tax fireworks in Idaho. So you actually pay double what you would pay here at any of the Colorado stands. So we found that it was very cheap and inefficient and effective to buy fireworks here because of that. But what was funny is I remember driving through after like the big city fireworks show and the amount of just cloud of sulfur that is just completely engulfing the city because it's right in the center of the city and the wind doesn't have the capacity and it's a hot day. It's usually a stale day and it just settles. And then you go to the park a week if there's no rain and it still smells like sulfur because it's in the grass, it's on the trees, it's on everything. And so if your neighborhood was a war zone, it's going to be the same way.
Well, to the point, even it's not even just the chemical stuff. So it was a couple of days after I then mowed the yard, and thought I was hitting rocks at first, and then I realized it's little cardboard tubes and bits and pieces of them have fallen too. So I mean, you can completely understand why Colorado has the restrictions on airborne fireworks that it does. Nobody obeys it, but you can understand why the law exists. You can understand why Boise would discourage it because we're both states that are highly sensitive to the idea of wildfires because of the amount of natural stuff that's out there to burn. But you see how that easily happens because if that amount of large, I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm stuff that was like quarter-sized.
And it's hot.
Stuff. Yeah, so it came down out of the sky, probably partially on fire, landed in my grass, got buried in the grass. I mow over it. Go, oh my God, that was in my grass. So that landed in a dry field. Poof, there it goes. Poof. Yep. Not discouraging your fun, but
I will say it was a beauty full time.
It was.
Being able to sit and see all that.
Very, very American, very patriotic. Many eagles, ate many of the glizzies. We got a couple of people in the comments. First from Puerto Rico, of course.
Umberto, hello.
Our good buddy G. Davis has checked in as well. We got Henry D. is in there. Lomax49. Lomax49 loves pretty explosions. Who doesn't, my man? Who doesn't love a pretty explosion? So just to remind you guys, those that are joining in, you can drop those questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, car care, detailing, car washing, general questions, all that kind of stuff is in there, and we'll get to those throughout the show. I do want to touch on, too. We have another big thing coming up.
We do.
We are prepping for, 2 weeks out from tomorrow is...
Yeah, 2 weeks. It's
Cars and Rockies.
It's our nighttime show.
The very first Sunset Edition. And I could not be more excited for this show.
Should be cool. I'm very excited too.
So for those who have not seen a Autowash Cars and Rockies show, I highly recommend browsing the channel after this, and you can see some of the videos, the recap videos that our talented team has created. This is the first one we are doing at sunset. So 6 p.m. kickoff. Yeah. So sun will still be in the sky, but kind of coming over the mountains. And then sunset, generally 8:30, 9 o'clock-ish at night here.
Fun fact, found out that Tuesday was the last 8:30 p.m. sunset.
Yep.
So it shortens about 3 minutes every day.
Yep.
So
we're losing a couple of minutes of daylight every day, but it will be the perfect time. So you get to the show around 6, set up. engage with vendors. Adams will be there. We got some food trucks. Got these guys that do different kind of lemonades and stuff. Get a nice, sweet, cool treat. Hang out, see some cool cars, listen to the DJ, win some prizes, donate to the charity. And then by the time we're all rolling out of there at 8 o'clock, the sun will be setting on the mountain. There's going to be some epic photo situations right up against the stadium in the parking lot there.
It'll be cool.
It's going to. I'm very excited. This is one thing that I wanted to do last year, and we kind of had the idea too late. So I'm very happy to see it come to fruition. But if you guys are in the Denver area or plan to be here, you can go to our Facebook page to see the event there. It's on our Instagram as well. You can also go to the Autowash website. There's information on Cars and Rockies there. It is free to attend. Just got to have the Autowash app on your phone. We really like it too if you follow us on social media, so we might be checking that when you show up.
Yeah.
There are chances you can claim 250 free loyalty points when you show up.
Which is a good reason to show up.
250 free points for just showing up and checking in at the show. We're going to be raffling off some signed Rockies memorabilia. I got some of the City Connects, which are
nice.
People call them the Taco Bell theme. I agree, a little bit Taco Bell themed, but they do have a sunset vibe to them. So I think I'm going to try and get us some of that stuff for.
Did you see my City Connect hat?
I love that hat. I need to get one.
You can only find it at the stadium.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I need one. So
It's
my next stop
cool.
at the stadium, I will have to pick one up.
I will say, Rockies played my beloved Red Sox last night.
How'd it go?
So
it's almost not even worth asking anymore.
It's like one of those things where you watch your two kids play a game and you're like, one of you is far superior than the other at this, but God love you both. Yeah. Like, hey. I sure have a soft spot in my heart to watch the two of you, even though I had to watch two of the Rockies players scramble to catch a ball.
Fun.
It's amazing.
It's like watching a couple kids slap fight. It was nobody's going to get knocked out. Nobody's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Might be kind of fun. Well, yeah, I prior to the 4th of July holiday, went to a game and watched them get absolutely just. They were competitive through a couple of innings. They were playing the Dodgers, so I mean,
it's the hardest.
It was almost like the Dodgers were phoning it in. I mean, the Dodgers are on a losing streak right now, but it was like they were kind of like, "Are we done yet?" It was the last game.
They're playing baseball with one arm.
It was a day game. They're like, "Just get this going, come on, guys, go." And of course, the Dodgers end up winning the game. It was not. Nobody is going to be surprised there. Let's check the comments, see what's going on here. First from Puerto Rico. That car went to war. I bet it did. So, G. Davis, I was getting to the roof of my ultra-low mileage Corolla repainted. Is 90 days later enough time to wait to ceramic coat it?
I'd wait 6 months at least.
Depends on it, and also depends on how it was painted too. So you have the idea of force curing, which means you use UV or an oven, you bake the paint. That forces the solvents out of the surface faster. That's rare anymore because it costs electricity and time, and shops aren't willing to put it in there. If you were an air dry, so you can talk to whoever painted it, or if you painted it. If it was an air cured, then you might want to wait. I mean, use a breathable wax. You can use like a light wax, like something like an Adams buttery wax or something like that. A very lightweight liquid carnauba to keep it safe in between. But don't do anything super durable because that you need that permeable layer. You need the solvents to outgas because all you're going to end up with is solvent pop if you don't let that fully
Well, if you recall, when we did the WRX project at the rag company, we had those panels painted, and it had been almost 90 days. And then the boys came in from G-Technic to coat it after we all polished it. And a month later, I was still getting ghosting coming up through the clear, because the clear was still off gassing. Yeah. And although Crystal Serum Ultra is permeable, it's not very permeable.
It's not designed to be, right? It's a heavily chemical resistant.
So it kept building these little pools, and we just had to go over it with Uno Advanced and just keep lightly getting those spots out.
The best advice, G. Davis, is err on the side of caution. If you don't know, the longer you can wait, the better. Park it outside, get it in the sun. That helps speed up the curing process as much as you can. If you are absolutely confident that it's been force cured, you can technically actually coat something that's been force cured moments after it's done because you have forced all the solvent out through UV or heat or baking or whatever it is. But if you don't know, go longer. It can't hurt.
Yeah, and like Dylan said, just wax it. I mean, you already keep your cars in a high state of perfection, so I don't think they're gonna suffer too much.
So we got, let's see, one more, and then we'll jump into our next topic here. So Slinks, headlight restoration. How often should I use Turtle Wax headlight restoration kit to get a Nike new look? Oof. Well, the work alone isn't really worth doing it that often.
No. It's not you'll be lucky if you get a year. That's really what that kit's designed for, is to get you about a year. What I would say is if you can get to the point where you get it, where you sand it and you polish it, and it comes with its own coating
Protectant.
or protectant, I would rather pull those headlights, go down to a body shop, paint supply store, grab a can of 2K clear. If you're capable at rattle canning, just rattle can those faces with 2K. And then for extra, because 2K will get you much longer durability than what comes in the kit, or skip the coating, get it completely polished out, get it looking as fresh and new as you can. And then I would contact a local PPF shop and get the headlights done.
Yep.
Just get them buried in PPF, because if you can suffocate it, you don't introduce oxygen, you don't introduce that oxidation to start happening again. And you can get 10 years out of those.
Yeah, and I get your thought. You're like, I just keep restoring them. It's not a ton of effort, but at the end of the day, a permanent solution is a better solution. Headlights are thick enough. You could sand the things tons of times and fix them, but why waste the effort fixing them over and over and over again? Correct them, get them into invest a little bit more time, a little bit more money.
And it's not a lot of time.
Yeah, and then don't have to worry about it again. Versus like, oh well, it's a year again, and it's not like it just instantly goes yellow.
No, it goes yellow.
But there's a slow. You're cloudy. Oh my gosh, I can't see anything. So you're already, even if it does last a year, it's a year until it's so bad that you can't really tolerate anymore.
Right.
It was 8 months in that it was already starting to get hazy, milky looking. So fix it once, fix it right, be done with it. Got lots of comments flying in here. We'll jump back into some more hot car care talk here in a minute. What's going on around the showroom, man? What's new in the showroom?
Well, we've been doing a lot of folks have been coming in to get windshield coatings and paint enhancements, which has been really nice to see.
I gotta have you guys actually do my windshield. The bug gut issue right now is hit its peak.
Yeah.
And my very vertical windshield could use some help. And that's the one thing that I didn't have done yet was the coating on the windshield. So I think
I will say that's one of my favorite things with it, because of the fact that Diamond Protect's glass coating does have the ability to help. It creates the same barrier that it creates against ice is basically what it creates against bugs. So if because I've started seeing bugs now, and I hit them on my drive home, and I just hit my windshield wipers and it cleans them off. And I've gone on road trips where Carly and I have taken her car or something. We go down to Utah and you get a big juicy one that hits the windshield. And back in the day you'd hit it and it just smear it and you're like, I shouldn't have done that.
That's the situation I'm in right now. Right? Like if I try and use them, it just makes it worse. So I have to live with just this speckled view as I'm driving.
And so what I like is it makes it easier. It helps wash off. Sometimes it doesn't get all of it because it loads up on the wiper and all that. Yeah. But it's amazing to then pull into a gas station, get out your windshield cleaner thing, and it comes right off. Nice. You don't have to sit there and scrub because it's not baking. It provides enough of a non-ability to bond to the glass, which makes it really nice.
It's non-stick coating, right? Just make it easier to clean.
Yeah,
I'm not expecting it to stop the bugs, but I definitely would love the help of keeping it clean. I like it. Just it's a battle now in the mornings. If I go, I'm going to clean this off before I leave for work, and it's climbing up on that thing is not easy. That is not an easy windshield to reach. It is 3 windshield wipers wide, so I can never quite reach the middle. But then it's just the actual having to chisel away at these bug guts because they're bonded, cooked, man. Yeah. So I'll schedule my appointment for a
sounds good
windshield coating.
But it's been nice to see though people doing it, and then also just with the amount of rain, I think a lot of people started kind of looking into that, because there are nights I drive home and it's torrential downpour. You've been in it too, where it's like, holy cow.
Yeah, the skies open up and it just unleashes a month's worth of water in 30 seconds and then you're on. But I agree. Any help you can give people with their windshield. And I've also noticed you guys have had an uptick. A lot of people are opting for the incredible details.
Everybody,
a lot of people going for the longer durability, which is good because they're getting ready because we are, unfortunately, I hate to say it, we are in July.
Yeah.
August is not far away. Then the doldrums of September. And then the average snowfall in the state of Colorado is around October 18th.
Ooh, I'm excited.
So it is not far away, which means we've got to start putting that protection on now and getting things ready for that type of season. I will share, I wanted to share this because we love our customers. Mm-hmm. They're great. We did have a recent interaction with a customer. He sent a message. I don't know if it was an Instagram DM or a Facebook DM, but he reached out. He said, I thought all your locations were touchless. I said, well, they are. We have Car Wash Express by Autowash. It's our one tunnel location, which is kind of an experiment, but not our touchless location. So I'm thinking he's referencing that. Yeah. And he referenced a location. I go, that's not us. And he sent a picture, and it was your typical gas station.
Yeah. Car wash.
Brush based in Beato. And I explained, that's not us, man. I'm sorry. He goes, oh my gosh. And he sends a picture. He's like at a Shell station. Auto Space Wash. Shell Auto Space Wash. And so I had to, it was the curious case of the lost customer, because it took me a minute to get to this point, because I'm like, you see my picture? I don't know where you're at, man. That's not our location. I'm at an auto wash. I am at an auto wash. But
using the words auto wash.
But at the end of that conversation, we ended up with him asking questions about, well, now that I know, he says, I went in, I didn't realize, and he says, I'm pretty sure it scratched my car up. He says, what can you guys do for me? He said, we have an excellent one-step paint enhancement product that will take care of those light scratches, sir. He will be scheduling soon.
Excellent.
So spelling is important.
Yeah,
Auto space wash, very different than auto wash.
I've seen a couple of those in and around town where they say auto space wash.
Yep.
And it's like, God.
Good thing we didn't name our business Car Wash. That would have been very confusing for everybody. Let's pop back into the comments again, check real quick. First, from Puerto Rico, checking in again, and says, I left a question the other day on one of your short. Do you know if brakes on a customer's car are carbon ceramic before detailing the wheels and tires? Customers usually don't know.
Usually they, my experience, Umberto, is that they do know, because they've usually opted for
it's an expensive
that
option.
Package.
Yep. Yeah, so I'd say ask the customer if they don't know. Unless they have gone to an aftermarket setup, it's generally pretty easy to search that model and see if it's even an option, and then just err on the side of caution. If you are unsure, everything's always err on the side of caution with me, is don't spray a product on a wheel if you're not sure of the finish. If you don't know, a highly diluted mixture of car wash soap and a little extra elbow grease will go a long way. That's enough to clean it, especially if you're dealing with a carbon ceramic. You're not going to have highly metallic brake dust to deal with anyways. So your reactives, your acid bases are not going to be needed, because you're not addressing that. You're addressing carbon. It is non-reactive. It's not going to do the turning purple thing that you expect it to do. Yep. Also, you could test, right? You could take a drop of a reactive, I'll name your wheel cleaner that you want that changes color. Take a drop, put it on your finger. Your finger will smell like
rotten eggs.
For a while. Tap it on something that you think is metallic and see if it changes colors. If it does not change color, it is not a non-metallic contamination. So I agree, though. It's rare that customers don't know. With what you pay to get that option on a car that has that option available, everybody who has it wants to tell you all about how they have
exactly. Yeah.
And you don't screw up my brakes. I paid a lot of money for those, right?
Yep.
Let's see. Slinks, this was through the Auto Wash team or at home. Oh, not us. Okay, Slinks at home. The guy is on YouTube called Paint Society. Has good reviews. Permanent headlight restoration. Okay, cool. They're helping each other out in the comments.
Well, I like it. Good work, guys.
So, usually husbands tell you, but the wife doesn't. It says first from Puerto Rico. Yes, of course. So, switching gears to a little segment I like to call "What's Going On in the World of Automotive News," and I have scoured the internet for interesting stories for us to discuss, for you in the comments to comment upon. First of all, and I'm going to bring this up, and it's one of those I don't believe this. Koenigsegg, the insane people who make insane cars.
Our friends at Koenigsegg.
I'm waiting for them to send me my sponsored Koenigsegg. I'll take a Jesco. It'd be great. They have released something called Dark Matter.
Fascinating is what it is.
It is a motor. It weighs all of 86 pounds.
Made out of carbon fiber.
Made mostly of carbon fiber, if almost entirely. And it produces 800 plus horsepower.
Yeah.
Out of something that weighs 86 pounds. I don't have an entire car in my... I could combine multiple cars that I've owned and not have 800 horsepower combined among these things that weigh many thousands of pounds. This is a unit that weighs 86 pounds.
This weighs about as much as a black lab.
Exactly. On top of it. So that's not the only thing that powers the car. Then they go, okay, well, that's cool. We've got 870 some odd horsepower. You like that? Check this out. We're going to put it on top of a twin-turbo V8.
Yeah.
5-liter something V8. Like 2,300 horsepower?
Yeah. Combined.
That's...
And it makes it so it becomes a dual motor, because it is a single motor, the Dark Matter engine. Yeah. So they thought, we don't want it to be the only single motor. That would be crazy.
That'd be dumb.
Yeah, we got to add something else to it. And so to have them build that other engine that puts out 1,500 horsepower on a twin turbo 5-liter V8, combining those, I don't even want to know. And it's a 4-seater.
It's a 4-seater. It's got like heated and cooled seats, cup holders. Take the kids to soccer.
They literally said it's like a family car.
Yeah.
With 2,300 horsepower.
2,300 horsepower. Think of how fast you can get to soccer practice. It was one of those things. Again, I think we talked about this when I was talking about the TRX come back in another episode. We are in this magical time where the numbers are video game level now.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, cool. So you can add dark matter to your car. You get 800. I was like, no, this is an actual thing. It's wild. And of course, it's a Koenigsegg, so it's well beyond my tax bracket and income level. But I can't wait to see one of these days or see all the stats that come out of it. Maybe someday, before I'm dead and gone.
Maybe we'll get one in the showroom.
Maybe I'm hoping that the price of dark matter engines will come down to a level in which we can both. I want a dark matter powered golf cart.
Yeah.
I want an
well, it's big enough that you would fit in a golf court.
That was the first thing I thought of. Is like all those tube chassis things that people build with like lawnmower engines. I'm like, man, if I can just get my hands on one of those Koenigsegg dark matter engines on the back of a tube chassis.
Oh my gosh,
I'd be. I mean, that would be the last thing.
Yeah, you could build some sand rails easy with those.
I would be a skid mark on a highway somewhere by the time it was done.
Oh my gosh.
But it would be fun. I'd go out with a smile. So.
We could build go-karts.
I can't.
Just like just adults sitting in little go-karts with 80-pound motors, the size of a Predator engine from Harbor Freight.
I mean, it's like, as I read that, I was sitting there and I'm doing the math and I'm going like the whole like, horsepower per pounds thing that a lot of times are discussed about hypercars. I'm like 86 pounds, 800 horsepower, 800 plus horsepower out of, I mean, it's
the size of this table.
Yeah, I mean, it's an end table. Maybe we should talk to Koenigsegg, get an empty dark matter housing for our end table here for decorating purposes. I think it's cool. Tell us what you guys think in the comments, and we'll read those later. I think it's one of the wackiest things I've ever heard. I still am in some level of disbelief and go, maybe they're just making this up.
Yeah. Well, Goodwood's going on right now in jolly old England, and I am hoping that over the course of these next 5 days that perhaps
Koenigsegg shows up, launches a rocket up the hill.
Because Toyota just released camouflaged GRs,
something,
but they're like
hush, can't know what it is.
Something looks like maybe Supras or Celicas. Not sure.
My thought was LFA.
Maybe could be LFAs too.
Beautiful sounding. It does have a triple exhaust on it.
Yep. So they're putting out stuff. Ford did a super truck.
Yep.
Where they built off their super van, which was their basically their Lightning race truck.
Yep.
So they're launching stuff or debuting it at Goodwood. So fingers crossed, maybe we get to see it and hear one.
Lomax. Lomax. He said LFR, LFA. I think Lexus LFA. If it's Toyota, it could be Lexus.
Yeah.
We'll see. Only time will tell. We'll talk about it in the next live stream.
Yeah.
Maybe we are correct, and maybe Lexus will send us one for free. Right behind the Koenigsegg Jesko that I'm waiting on, and all these other things. So in other automotive news, and this is not a positive story, but interesting nonetheless. Q2 2025, 20% of car buyers agreed to monthly payments of $1,000 or more, which is a new
not lease
record.
Payments. Monthly financed, I'm buying this.
Yes. As far as I know. I don't know if that includes leases, but it is a $1,000 a month car note. That's a lot of people signing up for a lot of debt. My question to you is, I want to hear your opinion. Is this people being financially irresponsible? Is this current macroeconomic conditions? Or are cars just so danged expensive now it's hard to get anything under $1,000 with all the bells and whistles that you want?
I think it's all three.
Could be a combination of all three.
Because I was thinking about it the other day, and I think back to, like, someone posted in an S10 forum of a picture of them, like a newspaper ad of 99 S10s, right? And it was like, come on down to Larry Barnes Chevrolet and pick up one for $12,000 extended cab SLE. And I was like, well, that's actually a really good price for a brand new S10. That'd be pretty sweet. But again, it's $19.99. So 99 economics, I remember thinking in 99 when I left, I was at the car wash and I got a raise from $6.50 an hour to $7.50 an hour, a whole dollar more. And I remember going, wow, I wonder if I could buy a car.
I could probably on the S10.
I was paying like $300 a month rent. And I was thinking about like, maybe I could buy a Jeep Wrangler. Maybe I could, like, I remember looking at that $10,000 to $15,000 car range, thinking, could I afford that? Because that's like $200 a month. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of money, though. I mean, I'm paying $200. If I had to buy $200 a month, I probably had to
compensate for inflation.
Right? You think about that, and I just in my head, I was like, but it's $5 now to get two 20-ounce bottles of soda. Regardless, it's about $4 or $5. So you think about it, you're like, candy bars are $2. We were kids, they were 50 cents. Like, so all things being equal, I mean, we do have some inflation going, and ever since the pandemic, inflation has increased on cars, and especially new cars. So I hope that price comes down, But at the same time, I think that's just where the world's sitting. Like I was looking when I was buying a car for Carly, and I was looking at prices, and I remember calling because the interest rates are still so high.
Yeah.
That it's kind of forcing it to hit that price.
It is possibly that. Yeah. No, you might. So I think we'll cut to a quick commercial break. But while Slink's badge comment. Let's look at Slink's badge comment. I can't get the sticker up. Comments. Okay. So Slinks. Slinks. There's a whole lot of Slinks in here.
Wow, you got a lot of comments there. Nice.
Wow, got it. Another question. I removed a badge from my vehicle. It appears to be more of a sticker than an emblem. Can't remove the sticker. Tried Gugon, WD-40, etc. What should I do?
Slinks, you need to send that picture to me on email.
Yeah.
levi.gates@autowashco.com. I want to see because I figured out sometimes you get dealerships that'll put a sticker on and then they'll clear over the back of something.
Yeah.
And you peel the sticker off because the clear
with it.
Yeah, because the clear flaked off anyway, and you peel the sticker. Now you got a hard line.
Yeah, you've tried all the stuff that you should try, but I would want to see if there's an outline there because you don't want to hit that thing with like an eraser wheel, especially if you got an edge of clear and peel that up. So
it's
good question, Slinks. We'll think about it. So we're gonna cut to our break. While we're at break, I want to know anybody who's in the chat who feels like they want to share. What's the highest car payment you've ever had? You don't have to be exact. You can tell us what it was if you want to. But I'm curious if we've got any $1,000 car payments hanging out here with us because I want to hit these guys up and borrow money because they got a lot more money than me. So enjoy a quick video, guys. We'll be back with you in a few minutes and a little bit more automotive content.
The only downside is it's really loud. My name is Peter. I'm a small business owner up in northern Colorado, and I drive this 1934 Ford. Missed out on the chance to buy one a long time ago, and so when I saw this one show up, I started bidding on it. It was on an online auction and ended up talking directly with the owner and got a chance to buy it. So some of the things I liked about this car was that it had shaved door handles. It was a chop top. I just love the look of a chop top on a 1934. I wanted a 3-window coupe, which is what this body style is. It's got a 383 stroker, and this one is an automatic. It's got suicide doors, which is definitely one of my childhood dreams, was to own a suicide door car. So I've been a car enthusiast my whole life. I specifically remember 4th grade for recess, my friends and I, we'd line up along the fence and we'd watch the cars go by, and we'd try to be the first one to call out which car it was that was going by. My friend Scott, his dad had a Camaro, an IROC Z, and I just remember seeing that car and being like, man, one day I've got to get a car that's as cool as that car. I've got 2 kids, 12 and 16. We usually try to wash the car together. It makes everything faster when we're working together, so grab all the tools and just tackle it. Just get it washed and get back on the roads. An auto wash opened up pretty close by to me, and I loved that I could take all my different vehicles there. So I've got a truck for when we're towing a camper, and I've got a Prius for when we need to just get around town. So I liked that I could go to self-serve or the automatic. I loved that, so I've been a member since that showed up. I'm Peter. This is my 1934 3-window coupe, and I choose Auto Wash because I love my car.
We are back. So I love that video segment. That
It's
is our
cool. It was
latest customer feature.
Yeah.
And speaking of car payments, we have, I don't think our friend Pete with his 34 there, I think he probably paid for that outright. I don't think there's any payments on that bad boy.
I think so.
So let's see. G. Davis, haven't had a car payment since 2018, $1,000 a month. Seems insane to me. Join the club. Seems a little insane. Let's see. First car payment was a 1998 Nissan Sentra. It was $189.78 per month. Kudos for remembering the actual exact amount, G. Davis. This segues perfectly into my next topic that I wanted to talk about, which is, have you seen the Slate? The Bezos-backed Slate vehicle. So for those who have not yet, we'll put some images up of this, but it is basically
retro Bronco looking.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a little mini Bronco. It's tiny. It's electric, and it's bare bones. And my favorite fact about this when I first saw it and was reading about it is power windows are an option. So that means crank windows are standard.
Yep.
It is got crank windows in it, but you basically buy kind of the shell. It can be a truck, it can be an SUV, and then there's just like a bajillion different bolt-on goodies that you can either option in or buy later, kind of like a Lego car in a way. The idea is the thing's supposed to come in, I think I put a note down here, low to mid $20,000 starting price. So there we go. Maybe we get out of this $1,000 car payment thing by everybody driving Bezos-backed Slates.
I think it's a great idea. I really like it. The Rag Company boys have, that's been the chat, right? On our group text is just, the Slate. Look at all the different options
Yeah,
and the guys that are building them and
lot
doing
of
fun
options,
stuff
yeah.
that they're enjoying. So I think it's a super cool little setup, especially the versatility of all of that. Like, I would buy one. I think because you could build a mini truck or you could build a Bronco out of it.
And the
basically
deposit's $50.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's a ton. So even if you kind of change your mind, you're out $50 for the deposit. I kind of I was reading it and I was like, should I put a reservation in for one of these things?
I might as well.
They're
Just
so
'cause.
tiny too. You can, like, stuff it in the corner of the garage. You're not using it. It borders on like it's the if you've ever watched any of the YouTube videos, the guys that import those like the cheap Chinese on a crate like pickup truck that's powered by a little
it looks like a fake little Dodge, like the trunk.
I'm like, this is kind of in that vein, but seems to be a better quality thing, and aftermarket support for it is going to be interesting. It's one of those things it's somebody who's been to SEMA like I have. I always used to do what's the car of SEMA going to be? And
right.
It's like the year the Bronco came out, it was like every booth had a Bronco in it, right? And then before that,
the Supra, everybody.
whatever the hot car of the moment is.
Yeah.
I wonder how many SEMA booths will have
slates
in them.
Oh, I think once it gets to the point that it can be versatile and it's showing that it's getting backing, that it's getting once it can get into production, because there was the Wolf, the electric company in California that was building the Wolves.
Yep.
Great setup. Be able to build a little 4-door hatchback, build a truck, build a crew cab pickup, do all this really cool 80s style, look like old Datsuns.
Yep.
There's not much noise about them. So if this can actually make it to the finish line and get to production, just like the Scouts, just like all that stuff, I think this is where these like resurgence, and especially the ability to do so much stuff with that Slate.
Yep. Well,
I'm excited.
It's got Jeff Bezos behind it. He's got unlimited amounts of money. I'm sure partially my money with the amount my wife orders. But it's well funded, so I can see it getting out there. I just had
and if it's built on the same framework where they use some of Rivian, since Rivian's also part of Amazon.
Yeah.
That's got a lot of better reliability status and things like that, and a charging network. So I think it's a viable product, and I don't see why I wouldn't own one, especially because I just want a mini truck. I want a little truck again.
Picture this, though, so you can see him.
What if we had
out front in the TIS booth on 26-inch or American Force wheels, 37-inch tires, a humongous lift, a Bluetooth drive shaft, right out in front of SEMA, the biggest, ugliest Slate you've ever seen. I can't wait. It'll be amazing.
Yeah, with really poor welding.
Real welding slag everywhere. Some weird ladder truss system, completely not functional, can't go off road. I can't wait to see it. That'll be amazing. Yeah, a couple other things about the Slate before we move on, though. They crossed 100,000 reservations. There's 100,000 reservations out there for it, which is cool and growing. And that was in May, so they're probably well past that now. It'll be 100,001 when I make mine. But I agree. I think I'm definitely on the path to at least reserving a Slate. I have a reservation in for a Scout. Might as well add that to the garage too, and then I'll figure out what I'm gonna do with all these things. Slink says, picture set to email. Hopefully get a live response. Well,
nice. Thank you, man.
In real time. You'll definitely get a response. I don't know if it's gonna be
Let me
live.
look real quick.
You can see. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
Tell us, guys. I mean, you guys are out there. Would you buy one of those Slate things? If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. It is interesting, if nothing else, to be aware that it's out there. But be interested to know how many people actually think. I mean, obviously, hundreds of thousands of people have already put reservations as this out there. I think it's a cool idea. It definitely would not be my daily driver, but I could see it as a little putt around town.
Yeah,
run to Home Depot. Take the pets to the vet. That kind of stuff. It's. I don't want to use my.
Seen it yet?
Hasn't come through yet. Well, if it comes through.
Yeah. But no, I think that'd be a great little rig. You know,
G Davis likes this, like we saw from the Slate previews.
Yeah.
And Lomax 49, Colorado just legalized the K trucks. Which, yes, I have seen a few of those showing up. Which that's another maybe if I don't get a Slate, I get one of those because I just think those are.
My brother-in-law bought one.
Did he?
Because he wants to put the same style wheels and tires and a little lift so that he can put it in the back of his long bed crew cab Super Duty.
It needs a deployment ramp.
It's kind of his game plan, because he does his airsoft event, or not airsoft, but air gun events, and he always tries to do silly stuff. They did an 80s theme, so they made a shooting platform on top of a waterbed. So he had to sit on a waterbed and kneel and then shoot from there. So he also bought some different crazy vehicles. He's got Surons and side by sides and things like that. And so he bought this K truck. so that he can have them sitting in the back of the bed of the other truck. So then it's like a little mini version of his truck.
There's a very Knight Rider moment here. He needs to have the back of the truck lower down, and the truck needs to be driving, and he needs to be able to drive the K truck into the back of the Super Duty while the Super Duty is moving.
That would be amazing.
Let's go next level here. Tell him to step up his game. It's just a K truck in the back of it.
Well, he got a Sherpa too for that reason. So he could just have some crazy vehicles to just go do stuff with. So
hang out with him.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But yeah.
G. Davis, the Fisker Ocean is a cautionary tale for electric SUVs. No joke.
Yeah.
Oh, the poor people who bought those things. If you've not seen
Fiskers in general.
It's in more than one pass at trying to be successful, and they just can't get it. They had the very first Fisker,
beautiful
car, a little mustache grill on it was kind of weird, but I don't know if I've ever shared this story, but maybe I have. I worked loosely with the guy. I think it was the original version of the Fiskers, because every badge on a Fisker was hand painted. I think it had like abalone shell or something in it. Had an outreach, this is back in my Rupes days, had a guy reach out to me, and he was a proud Rupes Nano owner. So for those of you who don't know, Rupes Nano, little tiny 1-inch electric polisher. It's kind of a small toothbrush for polishing things. He was an artist that Fisker had commissioned, and he hand-painted every single emblem for a Fisker. This might be why they're out of business. Hand-painted it, and then he was polishing them, and he sent me a picture. He had like this wax tray that he would push the emblems into after he was done. He'd hand-polish them, but no two were alike. And I never asked him how much it cost to create a one-of-a-kind abalone shell Fisker badge.
Probably $100.
Yeah, I was like, you commissioned an artist to make your badge, and then you went out of business. I can't imagine where the business model fell apart.
Yeah. That's wild.
Let's see. So, wow, Sherp, like Rich Rebuilds. I don't know, Rich Rebuilds from First Puerto Rico. I don't know. All right, so moving on a little bit so we can move past the Slate. We're all going to place, we'll send off a letter to the fine folks at Slate and ask them for our commission check for referring so many people. We had some hangover questions, which First from Puerto Rico asked this question. Yeah, we've already answered that. We did have Alkaline Top Hat asked in the last live stream. We never got to it. How do I approach conversing with someone who takes their vehicle through a tunnel wash daily? They love having a clean car, and I assume this is from the aspect of you're a detailer, you're talking to a customer, and you know they're just going to take the car back to the tunnel wash.
So Dan's in Alaska.
Yeah. Okay.
So there maybe that's one of the only car washes available, short of self-serve. Oh, Dan, that's a hard one, man, because if you've got a customer that likes the convenience or doesn't want to get wet, doesn't want to wash it themselves, or doesn't want to do it in their driveway because water quality or any of that kind of stuff. You can try and get them to limit their washes. Try and limit the timing when they go. Don't go on a busy Saturday afternoon when everybody is washing their cars, because what we've noticed is many of those tunnel washes bumper to bumper the cars. There's not enough time to at least allow the brushes to rinse themselves off, because they all have the ability to clean themselves off.
Eventually. Or the nightly reset that crew does, which we watch at the one across the street where they shut down at the end of the day and they're in there and they're power washing the brushes. That means that the first guy of the day gets a less swirled up car at the end of the day.
Correct. Yes.
So maybe be the first one in line. My recommendation, I actually had this exact same conversation. I was on a podcast with our friends from Avance before we did the event with them, and their national group up in the Pacific Northwest as a podcast. And I was on there. And they asked a question, because obviously there are no auto washes up there. And they're like, well, how should we wash our cars? And they had a couple of self-serves up there. And like I'm aware of, I actually know the family that runs Elephant Car Wash, very iconic brand, started in the Pacific Northwest. They have tunnels, they have touchless.
Been around for a long time,
but they do have a lot of self-serve base. And I said it's a good place to start. See if your customer is willing to do self-serve.
Yep.
If they're not willing to do that part, then I would say see if there's any touchless in-bay automatics. Now the challenge there is most of those are going to rely very heavily on very caustic, very corrosive chemistry, because they're not touching and they don't have
the high pressure, they don't have hot water.
Exactly. We can get away with it because we have the technology in the system that does it, but most touchless washes are going to cheat by using acid effectively. So you do have to educate your customer on that. It's trading one type of damage for another, right? So they're going to reduce the amount of scratches. I would say that's probably a better option among them. Also, you're not going to rip your mirrors off, bend antennas, that kind of stuff. But if you can convince them to do a touchless wash, if there is an option in the area, that would be a way to go. Just caution them against the idea of like, hey, try not to do it too often, because it is going to be highly corrosive. It's going to probably be hard on the trim. It's always definitely going to, if the car was coated, for example, it's going to wear that coating is going to be cooked pretty quick.
Yep.
So, and then I would start backing into it with the customer going, how often do you want to come back and see me?
Yeah.
You're enjoying this moment right here where the car looks great and it's protected. If you want to come back every 4 to 6 months, awesome. Let's do that. Go to the touchless wash, have the acid cook your car for you. I'll fix it every 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, do some Uno Advanced on it.
Whatever I got to do. If not, you should have a maintenance package. I mean, if there is not a reasonable alternative in the area that's reasonable, because customers aren't going to drive out of their way to go find a touchless wash. So if there's not, you need to have some kind of quick and easy maintenance package. And if it's just a basic wash, I mean, you can get away with charging 50, 60, 70 bucks for that. Try and make a very efficient wash package and then explain to the customer the value of doing that. They've invested money with you to have the car detailed. They don't want to have to do it. If they go, no, I don't want to be back here every 4 to 6 months, you go, cool. Then you can't do what you're doing now because you're just going to undo. I don't want you to undo all the work that I just did.
Otherwise, it's a waste of money for you.
Exactly. And then from a business owner's perspective, that's a question that probably should happen before the detail is done. If one of the questions about qualifying somebody for a paint correction or a coating or any level of
How
service
do you wash?
What's your plans for maintaining this after we do the service? Don't ask that question after you've already done it, because if they go, I'm going to go to the tunnel washing, go, don't do that. It's hard to talk them out of it at that point. So I would recommend having that conversation up front, setting the expectation, and then I've advocated for build a package that includes it. Go, hey, our correction and coating package is $1,500, whatever it is. Insert your price here. For an additional $500, I will sell you our maintenance package where you can come up to 1 time a month or 2 times a month, whatever you decide it is, for our express wash service. When it comes in, we will wash it, we'll clean it, we'll inspect the coating for its integrity, make sure everything's okay, touch up any damage that's needed to be touched up, and send you on your way. That puts an additional, in this case, $500 in your pocket. So they're prepaying for the services, and then they'll show up, and you just tell them, hey, you schedule, and we, punch card, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Keep track of those washes, and that's one, it forces a revisit. Because if they paid for it, they're going to want to use it. So they're going to come back in. It's an opportunity to go, hey, the coating's holding up well, but I noticed the tires aren't looking great. Do you want us to do this? Or I can do a deep clean on the wheels. Looks like the wheels are getting pretty caked up. We can do this. Oh, hey, we didn't do the interior for the initial coating. I could shampoo these stains out of the carpets for you, whatever it is. And maybe you offer PPF. Maybe you offer tint. It's opportunities. Every time you can get a customer in front of you is another opportunity to sell.
Well, and usually your customer, when they pay for something like that, they're willing to spend the time to make sure it always looks good. So they're willing to come in for an interior. They're willing to, well, I'm coming in for a wash anyway. Why don't you guys work on the inside too and get it cleaned up? And that's an upsell that you can make.
Exactly.
The other thing that I would say is in that initial conversation with your customer, if they are hard, I just like running it through the car wash. I'm sorry, that's just what I do. Then change the coating plan or the perception of what they're going to get. Yep. What I started doing was I'd say, why don't we do this? I'll provide a 1-year coating or an 18-month coating. If you're okay coming in every year to do a detail that costs X number of dollars, where I polish it and coat it, we can do that. And you can run it through the car wash to your heart's content. But note that I don't feel comfortable selling you a 5-year coating or a 10-year coating.
You're not going to get the value.
Because you're not going to get the value, because in a year we're going to have to redo it anyway. Because if you can't do those things, then I kind of have to only do a 1-year coating on your vehicle, because I want it to be able to last.
Yeah.
And it's really protecting the work that, when you go to fix it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and nobody wants to sell a customer on something they're just going to be upset about or disappointed in, right? They want to get. You want the customer to love what you did.
Yep.
And you want them to love it for as long as possible. And it should never be a one and done transaction. This should be a relationship. Detailing is a relationship based business. So is car washing. We're trying to build relationships with customers so they trust us to take care of the car. So yeah, the consultative approach going, I could sell you this 5-year and you would pay double for it and this and this and this, or let's do this because you're going to do that instead. I would feel like I'm stealing from you to do that because you're not going to get the value.
You build trust with that customer.
It's good, but then you're not wasting the money, because if you're going to do that, it's just going to undo what I'm doing. So let's do the 1 year, and I want to see you so often.
Yeah.
And yeah. So
I had a buddy that managed Les Schwab's, and that's all he did.
Yep.
1-year coatings on all his work trucks, because there was a mister across the street, and he was like, he goes, when it's slow and I've got my front desk girls, I have them every day run the truck through the car wash.
Yeah.
But I need it looking clean.
It's got to look clean. That's the most important
and that's
part
all
for
that
business,
matters.
right?
So coat it and polish it once a year, and we're good.
David Cervantes checking in.
David.
Check Slink's email. See if Slink's email came through.
Let me see here.
In the comments here. If not, Slinks will give you the email again. You can try and resend it. Slinks, you get the polish,
there
the
it
coating. If you wash your car almost every day at Autowash, will that reduce the life of the coating, increasing you have to do it again? Yes and no. Depends on the coating, right? So I rely heavily on, I have in the past used G-Technic's Crystal Serum Ultra. I love that coating. It's the most chemical resistant coating I've ever seen. It holds up really well to that and abrasion. I saw no drop off. Oh my goodness.
So it's on a Skyline GTS, that looks like glue.
That does look like glue.
So Slinks, I would take some adhesive remover and a plastic scraper.
If you can find it. If it's available in your area.
Yeah, because
3M's Red Can Adhesive Remover. Yeah, it does, because it's partial. I would say, and you're probably safe. It's not going to damage anything if it doesn't come off the adhesive remover. I definitely wouldn't hit it with the eraser wheel, though.
No.
That's sketchy. So Slinks, look for the red and white can 3M. I don't have the part number off the top of my head. And, I will give it to Levi and have him reply to your email with it. It is the best adhesive remover on the planet. Don't get it anywhere near anything chrome or anything raw like rubber plastic. It will absolutely destroy it. But it will take off any adhesive. Problem is, it's not VOC compliant. 3M stopped making it some years ago. It's out there in supply.
It's in the world, just
but
like
you
the
may
Wolos.
not be able to find it close to you. But if you can, it's the best adhesive remover. I still have like 3 cans left. I use sparingly for situations.
But
like
get
this.
hard plastic scraper. Rag Company sells Yellow Tools packs of scrapers. They're good to just have. You can get a 10-pack for like $10. Just so that you have them for in case like that, where you've got a customer in that maybe needs their molding removed or something. Having a good hard plastic scraper that's not going to really damage the finish is a good thing to have. And the other thing, Goo Gone is a basic, simple, easy dissolving agent that you can use as well. And then, of course, my favorite, lacquer thinner. When all else fails, lacquer thinner works, but it does soften the clear coat, so you do have to be careful with scraping. So just usually a couple wipes should be able to get it, but I think that should be able to come right off very simply.
Yep. It looks like it. I mean, it looks very superficial. It just looks like probably maybe a very stubborn,
just a little bit of leftover glue.
Yeah, the right chemistry might
the other thing you can try, sometimes these older Japanese stickers come off with IPA alcohol. It's weird, but it boogers up pretty quick. But it's weird when it does wipe off, and you're like, whoa, that. Yeah.
Just trying. I would steer clear from abrasion, though. That's the one thing that would make me scared there. So I think a lot of people would go, eraser wheel. And I was like, mystery glue is not the place I use eraser wheel.
No.
And then Slinks, to finish up on that thought I was sharing with you. So you could wash it, auto wash every day, given that you have a durable coating and not have any impact on the coating. There are coatings out there that are significantly weaker. I have tested some of these, and general washing just didn't kill them, but it slowly wore them away. I wash daily, sometimes multiple times a day, because we're testing stuff, and the coatings that I have, because I have a hodgepodge of coatings all over, they're all performing fine. So our chemistry being non-corrosive and the fact that we're not touching, so those are the two things. To wear away a coating, you either 3 things technically: time, abrasion, and chemistry.
Yep.
If you have chemistry that isn't attacking it, it's not going to wear it down. If you're not using abrasion because you're touchless, the pressure from the water isn't going to wear it away. So you have time. And so with a very durable, a quality coating, no, we could wash cars in a limited amount and never impact the coating. But there are those coatings out there, or people who think that they have a coating. We've come across that. It came in a spray bottle. It's like,
there was a
ceramic
major
infused sealant, but maybe not a coating.
Well, I went to an event I had just left a country learning about a coating, spending 3 days with a chemist learning everything about a coating and its strength and its capabilities and everything that it could and couldn't do. And then I went home for a week and then went straight to a major manufacturer's coating announcement of their coating. And then their lead technical director goes, "Oh, don't use our quick detailer because it will break the coating." And I said,
Huh?
Hold on, wait, what? What do you mean your quick detailer will break the coating?
Come again now?
And he said, because the pH is too much of an acid and the coating can't handle that. And I said, well, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That
seems like a logical
problem
that we should
counterintuitive.
In the formulation
Why
process.
is this a coating? And then they said, and it'll last for 3 years, but it's only rated for 6 months.
Perfect.
And I said, that again doesn't make any sense.
If you don't touch it, don't drive it, leave it sealed in
Pretty
a bubble.
much.
It'll be good for 3 years. If you use it, 6
Yeah.
months.
Yeah, and if you try to touch it with your quick detailer, you could break it and damage the coating.
Further proof that the coating industry is still
And this
needs
is
regulation.
this is a major manufacturer that had been in business for a very long time, and we're happy to announce their first coating.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was one of those where it was like, wait. And then they came out with a soap to help revive that coating, but that coating was designed not to handle that type of soap. So again, there's a lot of things that most people don't understand, and why we always teach people, like, pick the coating and the coating company, make sure you know who they are, get the customer service that you need, because you have to have that knowledge to be able to pass on to your customer than just grabbing a coating because you see coating and throwing it on someone's car.
Yep. A couple more check-ins. We're an hour flies by.
Crazy
man.
how fast
we're a couple minutes away from the hour. First, Puerto Rico, there's always the type of customer that you tell not to send through the car wash, through the touch car wash after they have paid for some coatings. Then they go weekly. I'll just ask them why. Let's see, Slinks, what service would you recommend from Autowash to meet this goal of having the car polished and coated? Oh, you can always come in for a consultation at the showroom if you're in the area, Slinks. Come by, talk to Levi and the guys. They can talk to you about that. I mean, it's just prep for a coating is dependent on the condition of the car when it shows up.
Yeah, basically, if we were to coat a car, we would do our classic detail. We just wouldn't put the protection on. We would wash clay the vehicle, clean up the interior for them because everybody likes a clean interior. And then we would do our paint enhancement polish, but we don't necessarily have to do Uno Advanced. We can do Rupes Fine on it. You could do any other fine polish and just do a traditional one-step. On most cars, that's all that's needed.
Uno will work as a primer.
Yeah, and Uno would work as a primer, and then we would just prep and coat the paint. Yeah. Like, there's not anything different in what we do, and I built out the scenarios for that same reason. So the biggest thing is just prep. You know, there are going to be some cars that just need a little more damage, need a little more correction. I had a customer years ago, back in 2014, bought a brand new Escalade off the lot that had been sitting in the lot for 6 months. And he goes, I normally order my vehicles, but for some reason they made me a crazy deal on this one because it had been on the lot. So I bought it, and I don't know why I did, because it's black and it had been washed 1,000
Instant buyer's remorse.
Been washed 1,000 times by the lot guys.
Yeah.
With just spraying it off and shamming it, and
push room in a bucket of sand.
Yeah, and it was scratched to hell. And
it's a brand new car, but it's still needed all the crap,
and
right?
we had to do a full paint correction on it just to get it, because I mean it was slapped with hoses. I mean it was beat, Dylan, and it was the most I've ever seen damage on a new car. But that was the only time I've ever had to deal with that much, unless it was like a 10-year-old car that I had bought that I was I'm gonna
reset this,
do stuff, right? Yep. So most new cars, one step, you're done.
So Slinks, to that end, bring it by. Let the guys get a look at it and give you all the information, because there's so many variables in this. There's the general rules of thumb, and then there's the nitty gritty when we get eyes on it. But no, he says he'll be by.
Oh, that'd be great.
So hope to see you here, man. And yeah, certainly we'll be happy to help you with that. And with that, man, we are up on
I can't believe
hour.
it.
Another, and I like this time slot. It seems like everybody's
good.
a little more engaged today.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you found the content interesting. This will be posted up permanently on the channel soon, but don't forget to like, subscribe, follow along, all that fun stuff, so you get the notifications when we do these.
Yeah.
As you said, if these audiences get big enough, we get enough questions, we either start doing it weekly or we start expanding the time. Maybe it's a 2-hour slot. Maybe it's once a week for an hour. Who knows?
It's flying by.
We are building this to suit you guys, so we want to basically bring your topic. So to that end, also feel free to drop in the comments when you see this video posted. If you got a topic for next week you want to talk about some other crazy hypercar, some other weird billionaire-backed EV company startup, whatever you guys want to talk about, questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, leave them in the comments. But in the meantime, have a fantastic weekend.
Yeah.
You have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you, sir. You too.
Happy Friday, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye.